agree that even though San Antonio got past OKC last year to get to the championship, we still think of OKC as the better team, as the stronger team. It's just that, it's close, and sometimes that's why we watch sports. Sometimes the second seed plays better than the first and advances, right? That's going to happen. Sometimes a third seed plays better than first and second, and that's why we follow the sport. But we're still in agreement that the better team, the better overall team, obviously during that series, the better team won, but overall better team didn't win, and they're still the better team in OKC. But we're having a different conversation on the Eastern side where the Knicks kind of came out of nowhere. Remember, they were down 2-1 to the Atlanta Hawks in the first round. Um, Came out of nowhere, won the championship. But at this point, we're saying they're the ones to beat. They're the best team. Is that because of the way they got there? Because they had shown progressive improvement and they had run into obstacles, but they didn't just, even though we're saying they came out of nowhere, they didn't really come out of nowhere because we'd seen the progression of Brunson. We'd seen the talent that Cat is. We knew Anunoby is a good wing, but
Hmm.
he just took that leap, and really not even in the season but in the playoffs took that leap to becoming a great wing. And is he going to sustain that? Are we being a little premature in just saying they are the team to beat, or the progression that we've seen across the 5 years, 4 years that Brunson's been there make them the team to beat in the East?
Listen, I mean, they're the defending champs, man, and the way they went on that run after they beat the
Historic.
Atlanta Hawks. I mean, they only lost one game, right? So they definitely bringing their core nucleus back. Josh Hart, Jordan Clarkson, Mikal Bridges. Uh, they got also obviously Carl Anthony Towns and Brunson. Yeah, this team is,
Ananobi,
I
yeah.
believe, gonna defend their championship, and I expect them to go at least to the Eastern Conference. I'm expecting them to go to the finals, but no, I think they made a tremendous leap. And anytime a team wins a championship, they get that they get that chip on their shoulder, man. Especially
Mm.
how they ran through the playoffs last year.
Everybody's
This
going to
is
be
not a
gunning
team
for
we
them.
can discount.
Yeah, everybody's going to be gunning for them. Hey, one underrated change. Yes, you're absolutely right. They're bringing back not just the nucleus, but pretty much the whole roster, except Robinson at center. I
Right.
think they're going to feel that because Cat, as good as he is a center, he's just not the defensive stopper that Robinson was.
Yeah.
And not to mention, remember, he didn't just leave the Knicks, he went to Boston.
That's right.
So I think that's going to be an underrated change that we're going to have to look out for, how that
Yeah.
affects the interior defense of this Knicks team. But
Andre Drummond is gonna need to step up. He's
yeah,
he's there still. I think he's only 32. So yeah, you're absolutely right. They will feel the presence, the missing of a shot blocker and a defender. Carl Anthony Towns, he's a good center, but he doesn't bring the defensive prowess that they just lost. So I expect Drummond to step up, and maybe they'll make a off-season acquisition as well to bring someone else in. But you're absolutely right. They're gonna That's gonna be big shoes to fill.
yep, absolutely. Man, I need a drink of water. All right. Well, let's do this. I don't know why CBS is announcing these things, but we're gonna talk about a few things, some breaking news that's just coming up this morning. So let's swivel the spotlight just a tad, shall we?
That ball belted, caught at third by Henderson to first. He got him. Tell you this, a rocket by Isak Paredes. Gunnar Harrison playing third base to the backhand side, lays out, and watch this cannon across the diamond.
You know, this is such a, we always talk about baseball being a languishing sport, but it's so languishing that even the highlights are not like the highlights of the NFL or the NBA, right? They're detailed. Oh my God, he lines it, and the first baseman dives for it, and he stops it, and off his knees throws him out. Like even the highlights take a while to get through, but we love the sport. We follow the sport, and here we are in the dog days of August, in the home stretch, right? Generally, we talk about August are the dog days. By September, you start to, that's the end of the season, and you're starting to see teams round into form. And then, of course, what matters more than anything in the world of Major League Baseball is the October baseball. What teams, what individuals can rise to the occasion in October baseball. So I was saying a couple of things that were popping up. CBS just announced, um, big deal for our Texas Rangers here in Dallas. He's not on the team anymore, but he was a part of the team a couple of years ago when they brought him in to try to win a championship. They won the World Series, but not because of him. And no, I'm not even talking about DeGrom. I'm talking about Matt Scherzer. Matt Scherzer just passed Walter Johnson, the great Hall of Famer Walter Johnson, to become number 10 on the Major League history strikeouts list. He's 39 years old, and he's pitching for the Toronto Blue Jays, I believe. Probably on his last year, might play into next year. I did want to highlight what this means. So here he is, Matt Scherzer, whose name we've been hearing for 17 years, 16, 17 years. And not just as a pitcher, but as a strikeout pitcher. He's a future Hall of Famer, no doubt, right? He just got into 10th spot. And let's see what the list looks like and if he's got a real shot at. There we go. So he's sitting at 3,516 strikeouts with about, let's say, 5 more starts. If he averages 7 per start, that's 35 more strikeouts.
Mhm.
That will put him into the 9th spot above the great Gaylord Perry. If he gets about 40 strikeouts, he's going to be in 8th place above Justin Verlander. And if he plays into next season, I have no doubt that he's going to end up being the 4th, 5th, maybe the 6th highest strikeout pitcher in the history of the sport. Why am I saying that? So this is a guy whose name we've known for the last 15 years as a power pitcher, as a strikeout pitcher, and he's played for such a long time, and he's in 10th spot right now, and possibly by the end of the year being in the 8th spot if he plays next season, getting dangerously close to top 5.
Wow.
And this 10th spot, he's got 3,516 strikeouts. And obviously, I mentioned he can leapfrog a couple more in the next few starts. He can leapfrog another 4 or 5 if he plays one more season. So, guess, the top 3 names everybody knows. So the third place in total strikeouts is so far ahead of him that Scherzer has zero chance of getting to him. That's Roger Clemens with 4,672. So Roger Clemens has almost a little over 1,000 more strikeouts than Matt Scherzer does right now, being at number 10. But that's not the thing. So above Roger Clemens sits the great Randy Johnson with 4,875. So he's almost 1,300 strikeouts ahead of the 10th spot. And he's not even close to the all-time leader in strikeouts, because the all-time leader in strikeouts is probably the greatest pitcher in baseball who does not considered in the greatest pitcher in baseball conversations. And I think he absolutely should. The great Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan. We've talked about all these. Randy Johnson pitched for 19 years. Roger Clemens pitched for 20 years. They're sitting in second and third spot.
Nolan pitched for 40.
Not quite 40, but yes. But Nolan Ryan is another 800 plus strikeouts ahead of Randy Johnson.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I didn't realize that he was that far up.
It is insane. When we get to all-time leaders in any sport, in any stats, the top 3 or 4 are always close.
Yeah.
This guy, I mean, who's going to catch Nolan Ryan?
No one.
5,714 strikeouts. Just crazy. And of course, he's got 8 or 9 no-hitters through his career. He had a bad ERA, which obviously meant not the best win-loss percentages. But boy, oh boy, what he did for how long he did, for how many different teams he did. What did he win? 4 Cy Youngs? Strikeout title after strikeout title every season, which is why he's sitting at 5,714. It's insane. There's Jerry Rice in the NFL, and we're going to be transitioning after this upcoming break. We're going to be transitioning over to the NFL. So Jerry Rice with his receiving yards, right? It's almost uncatchable, but the game is changing to the point where maybe, first off, we've added another game since Jerry Rice's playing days. We're talking about possibly adding one more game over the next 5 years. But even then, Jerry Rice, for years, his record of receiving yards looked safe, looked untouchable. And even now, with the extra emphasis on the passing side of the game over the last decade, with the increased number of games, it's still looking fairly safe. But maybe in 15, 20 years, somebody's going to start to approach it. But that's the only other one that I can think of where the leader is so far and away better than everybody else that he's going to be uncatchable. Actually, I lied. I think there's one more in the game of baseball while we're on that topic. Ricky Henderson and his steals record. As much as, I mean, steal is not as much of a part of the sport anymore. But also we just haven't seen anyone as good as Ricky was. And again, he played for 22 some odd seasons. And even at 38, 39 years old, 40 years old, he was a productive leadoff man, getting on base and stealing bases. So Ricky Henderson is another one of those who has a pretty wide lead in the steals department. But man, strikeouts, Nolan Ryan. I wanted to give kudos to Scherzer, but he's still almost 2,000, actually more than 2,000, 2,200 strikeouts behind Nolan Ryan, the great. Oof, insane. All right. So other things from the world of baseball. So I'm going to go to our local Rangers again. The Rangers have been making some noise. They went into the All-Star break having overtaken first place from Seattle. Seattle has kind of floundered since then. The Rangers took over Houston, of course, who have been at the top of the AL West for the most part over the past almost decade, had been floundering. Their pitching is really, really bad. Not Athletics bad, who lead the majors in giving up 671 runs, but still, Houston has given up 571 runs, but their offense has rounded into shape and they've started to make a comeback. While for the most part of the season, Houston Astros had been languishing roughly 10 to 15 games below 500, but they've gotten really hot, and then they swept the Rangers after the All-Star break to leapfrog them and take the lead in the West. But the Rangers, off of their 4-game win streak, are sitting just a half game behind and looking to beat the Baltimore Orioles today for a 3-game sweep. And if that's coupled with a Houston Astros loss, the Texas Rangers, your Texas Rangers, are going to be back in first place by the end of today. And they've got a very, very favorable schedule coming up. They've got the Athletics, possibly one of the worst teams in the league, for a bunch of games. They've got the Angels, one of the really bad teams, coming up. They've got let's see. Yep, Angels 4 games, Athletics 3 games, Washington, who's not a good team, and then 3 more with the Angels again, White Sox, who are decent, and then Milwaukee, who is the best record in the league, and then 3 more with the A's. So for the rest of August, the Rangers have a real shot here at getting hot, stringing together a lot of victories, and being able to put a stranglehold on the West. And as they proved 3 years ago, once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen, as the Rangers snuck in as a wild card 3 years ago and rode it all the way to the World Series championship. Can the Rangers fans hope for the same this year? Yeah, they can. Will it come to fruition? Who knows? That's why we play the games, right, Manny?
Absolutely.
All right.
So they're doing good. I mean, the fact that we're second place right now and have a chance to tie the Astros or actually go past them after this game today, that's really a good place to be.
Yeah. In August, in the second week of August, yeah, that's a good place to be. So August is where money is made. September is where teams are made, and October is where the legends are made. We'll take a short break, and then afterward, we're going to swivel the spotlight again a little bit, talk about another sport of the king of sports. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. You're listening to the Sports Spotlight with Rizwan and Manny.
This is Radio Azad, streaming in Dallas, Fort Worth, and all around the world.
आप सुन रहे हैं रेडियो आजाद, हम सफर हमजाद रेडियो आजाद। कौन चाहता है कि किसी भी हादसे का शिकार, लेकिन सच तो ये है कि जिंदगी नाम ही हालात, वाकयात, मामलात और हादसात का है। लेकिन कुछ हादसात ऐसे होते हैं कि इंसान की सोचने समझने की तमाम सलाहियतें जवाब दे जाती हैं। ऐसे हालात में सिर्फ एक कॉल अगर की जाए मवानी हर्नांडिस लॉ फर्म को, तो आपके लिए बहुत सी आसानियां पैदा कर सकती है।
So, my dear Texans, if you, your loved one, or someone you know is injured in an accident, just call the voice of Texas, Mavani Hernandez Law Firm at 469-494-3990 or check out www.mavanihernandezlaw.com. Mavani Hernandez Law, Texas की आवाज।
Mom, the date is finally fixed.
I know. I've imagined this day since you were a little girl. And now we need the perfect place. How about Dallas Farms? It has a beautiful